Okay, we're back. I take a short break there. Got your neck sitting straight. Now, if you want to set your trim flat against the body like mine, all you got to do is turn the screws in enough to where it holds it against the body while you have the guitar in tune. There's also a fine line there that you can loosen those back screws where you try to get it to the point where you can dive bomb with it really easy, but it'll still come back and with enough pressure from the strings to make it lay flat on the body. If it doesn't, then it's going to, it's not going to come back in tune on you. It's going to be slightly floating, and you're going to need to bring it a little higher if you want to do that. The way this one's set up, it's not hard at all. Just you dive bomb with it, come right back, it lays flat against the body. Personal preference, so whatever you want to do. It depends on what kind of style music you play, stuff like that. You know, again, I play classic rock and not a little bit of clean here and there, some country stuff, but I don't dive bomb much. It's just something just to play with for me. Let me grab this guitar. This one has a floating trim. This is a Fender 2-point trim. It's not like the 6-point strats and wires and stuff. It's a Fender Showmaster. Had it for a while. It's a nice guitar. This one has got a 2-point trim. It's floating. I've got it floating off the body. And this is the way this one is designed. Not to be flat against the body. With a 6-point, you can go either way with them. Because those screws sit high. You adjust your action 2 ways on these. You can adjust the trim height. I could actually probably lay this against the body if I wanted to. Then I'd have to raise up the saddles individually, pretty much at their limit to get the action back up to where I want it. But this one, you can actually go back and go up or down with it. So if you want that option, Fender says that you set the trim with the back of the trim 1/8 inch off the body. So what you do have to do to achieve that after your neck is straight is you have to adjust the springs in the back in your plate right here. If you loosen them up with this thing in tune, it's going to let the trim start coming up some. What you want to do, your ideal is you want to get this trim 1/8 inch off the body in the back, and the string height at 1/16 of an inch, like I explained earlier. It takes a little tweaking. You got to tweak here, tweak here, tweak here. It's old hat to me, but if you try and do it yourself for the first time, it might take you a little while, but it's really not hard. Just think, the pressure of the springs in the back are pulling back from the back of this trim will equal the pressure of the strings are pulling up this way on the trim. Okay, so when it's floating off the back, you can back off the springs, and it will allow it to come up. When you tune it back up, it's going to go out of tune then. When you tune it back up, it's going to pull it up even more. So you might have to go back and turn the screws back in to get it back down to where you want it. It takes a few times to do it before you get it exactly where you want it. And remember, when you have, let's say you have a string height of 1/16 of an inch, or you have it higher. Okay, if you have it higher, the higher the string, the more leverage it pulls on this, and more leverage it pulls on the neck, as explained earlier. So I always try to get the guitars neck straight first, get the action set right. Then I'm going to set the trim up off the body, and I tune it up, and I keep tweaking the back until I get it up at 1/8 inch with it in tune. All right, then I'll go back, and I'm going to have to adjust the string height on each saddle again, because it's going to be higher than what it was before I started adjusting this thing. Excuse me. So when you get the action back down again, the trim is going to move probably back down. It's going to sit a little different. So you're going to have to tweak it again, just a little bit less each time. And when you do that, it's going to raise back up. The action is going to come back up. So you got to keep tweaking until you get this thing sitting where you want it, and the action sitting where you want it. Once you get all three of those, the neck straight, the action where you want it, the trim sitting where you want it, then you do your intonation. You do that last. And every guitar I do, every setup, I go through the same process. I've done hundreds and hundreds of them, so I can do this in a few minutes. It might take you a while if you've never done one. Once you do it and you understand how all these things have to come together, Once you figure that out in your mind, you'll say, well, this is really simple. And it really is simple. It's just that if you've never done it, it's like anything else in life. It seems difficult. So, set your neck, check it, adjust your string height. Once you get that done, then adjust your trim. Keep tuning in between all those. Make sure it's in tune. Keep adjusting until you get the trim sitting where you want it and the action where you want it. Once you're done with that, go back to the last thing, check your neck. Good. Then do your intonation. Should be ready to go after that. I hope this helped you some. I know this was kind of quick. I'm real busy, and I got a lot of guitars sitting here to work on. And, I've been lazing around the house because of the snow we have outside now and just being lazy. But I hope this helped you some, and I'll see you down the road.